Peace and love. What up, though? What it do? What's popping? What's cracking? What's happening in time 9, time 10? You see the title. You got the Broward County Sheriff's Office cooking the cocaine. Hey, cooking the cocaine. And then turning around and redistributing it. Redistribute. Is that a word? Redistribution? This is crazy. It don't even sound real. And it is more relative than when it was originally exposed, right? Based on the fact that right now they have the young mayor, the youngest mayor, if I'm not mistaken, or at least this is what they're broadcasting, that this brother is the youngest mayor in Louisiana history, right? And he's being accused in uh, selling the cocaine, right? As well as and these are, at the moment, he hasn't been convicted of anything, right? But they're also alleging that he has solicited a prostitute. And from what we're hearing, as far as people from that particular town or parish in Louisiana, is that they are setting him up and they are framing him. This is what the people are saying who reside or domicile within that particular town, right? So again, we're hearing about this right now a whole lot. It's again, it's like they're convicting him before him being judged by a jury or a bench trial or whatever he chooses. This is crazy, right? But it's not as crazy as, again, right here. We'll just put them on full blast. Broward County Sheriff's Office. They're not being accused of, or this isn't alleged. This isn't an alleged story. These are actual facts that they have been, again, cooking the cocaine and selling it to the people who reside within that county. This is, let's talk about stuff that we know are actually facts right now, right? This is not alleged. Currently, they being the Broward County uh, Sheriff Department, the good old order fraternal police department, peoples and all of this and all of that, they're being forced to overturn over 2,000 convictions because they use the cocaine that they manufactured and cooked themselves. Like, I would really like to see, the docs on this, right? Like, was they using a microwave? Or was they stall topping that boy? Like, kind of shit. Crazy. Crazy. And you actually are out here putting it back into the streets. Man, if this, oh my God, take me down. Let me tell you something. You would have never thought, although we're not surprised. We're not surprised one bit. Let me say that. But the fact that it's playing out in real time for the world to see is what's, surprising. Surprising that they even let this story get out. Let me turn the music off so y'all can hear them say this for themselves. Again, Florida, the young flower on the map, right? Broward County on the map, on the radar again and again and again. And we know why, but we'll get to that later. Let's see what happened. Let's turn the music off right quick and get into this bill. They are cooking the cocaine themselves. Yeah, that's what they doing. What do we got? Okay, I'm on the wrong one. My bad, y'all. So let me turn that off. And there are quite a few news channels who released this information. Right here we have WPLG Local 10, right? And this is an attorney. Attorney says convictions from Broward counties, or it says BSO's drug manufacturing days may get overturned. So yeah, and that's what they're talking about. They talking about Broward Sheriff's Office is what they're saying here. Okay, and that's what we have on the screen, right? So let's get to it. Let's see what had happened. Let's get some volume. Turn it up a little bit. Well, that's actually a lot of bits. So let me see.
They did find that people who were arrested for buying this stuff should have their cases cleared. But the state attorney now has found that that hasn't happened for possibly thousands of cases. Now he wants to help. It was the height of the crack cocaine epidemic for the Broward Sheriff's Office.
Open it up. More!
And one tactic that made headlines?
They decided, we're going to manufacture our own crack and have detention deputies pose as drug dealers out on the streets.
The drugs are being cooked on.
I gotta go back because once the video is done and I hit y'all with another video, I want to know how many cities this Broward County encompass, right? I know a couple, but I want to know all of them because I see Fort Lauderdale, you know, and I was thinking a little bit more north, but we gonna figure this out together.
County are finally being cleared.
Those accused of buying crack made by law.
And decades in Broward County are finally being cleared.
Those accused of buying crack made by law enforcement could soon have their records vacated. Local 10's Janine Stanwood is live to explain. Janine. Decades ago, when Nick Navarro was sheriff, BSO actually cooked its own crack cocaine in this building right here to use for undercover drug busts. The courts found that that wasn't unconstitutional within itself, but they did find that people who were arrested for.
When they're saying BSO, again, they're talking about the Broward County Sheriff's Office. So I just, you see they're not saying it. You can see the emblem right here. Right here. Now to go back. Let's go.
Busts. The courts found that that wasn't unconstitutional within itself, but they cooked its own crack cocaine in this building. When Nick Navarro was sheriff, BSO actually cooked its own crack cocaine in this building right here to use for undercover drug busts. The courts found that that wasn't unconstitutional within itself, but they did find that people who were arrested for buying this stuff should have their cases cleared. But the state attorney now has found that that hasn't happened for possibly thousands of cases. Now he wants to help. It was the height of the crack cocaine epidemic for the Broward Sheriff's Office.
Open it up. More!
And one tactic that made headlines?
They decided, we're going to manufacture our own crack and have detention deputies pose as drug dealers out on the streets.
The drugs are being cooked at the courthouse on the 7th floor.
The state Supreme Court ruled in 1993 the practice was outrageous, and those arrested should have their records cleared.
He was found not guilty.
Now, more than 30 years later, State Attorney Harold Pryor announcing there could be thousands still on the hook, and the state has an obligation to fix it.
1989, 1990 is when I actually started going out, selling crack cocaine.
Raymond Hicks says he was one of those detention deputies turned undercover dealers.
It didn't sit right with me because, working in law enforcement, you're saying, how could a department manufacture their own drugs and give it to us to be sold in the street?
Funny enough, it didn't put a dent in the crack problem.
Attorney Ed Hogue represented many of those arrested.
For 30 years now, these people have been convicted felons. So anytime they go to apply for a job, anytime they would try to vote, they can't vote.
It's not clear how long it might take to clear arrest records, but current Sheriff Gregory Toney is on board, telling Local 10 in part, I find the actions of my predecessor to be a miscarriage of justice. Law enforcement officials must never become so desperate in our pursuit to apprehend criminals that we compromise our own integrity.
I think it's a great thing that he's doing, and I'm hoping and praying that it'll bring these people some closure.
The state attorney's office.
Now, you can imagine there are individuals locked up right now. If I'm not mistaken, they say they started doing this in 1993. I did not hear an ending date as to when they stopped this practice of cooking the cocaine and actually redistributing it back onto the street or to the street, because I'm not hearing them say where it came from, right? Crazy. So let's I want to hear another side to this thing moving slow, but we gonna get it together. Bam. I meant to take this down first though. It don't work for me. I bet. So again, they've been dragging the young brother. Where his story at? I don't even want to go out. I'm sure everybody knows that story by now because it's in the mainstream mass media, right? Again, I'm talking about the young brother that's the mayor. And what's the name of the town? I might as well go to it. But again, we have something that we know has been a reoccurring matter within Broward County, right? Since 1993, they've been cooking the cocaine and putting it back out on the streets or putting it onto the streets again. So, fact check me. You see, we strive to stay away from the satire news that people be sharing, right? I got people, actually looking crazy. You're not looking like a conspiracy theorist or a free thinker when you regurgitate this satire, racist satire at that, when you get to the source of it, primary source of it. So I don't know, If this, I'll continue to do what I do, right? But if this isn't enough to awaken the people in drones and masses and drones, I don't know what can save you. If this don't, you know what I'm saying, make your antennas point up and bounce back down into curls, I don't know. I'm not gonna say nothing can save you, but I'm just this story alone solidifies 90% of what I talk about, right? We can talk about Broward County, but for me, you have to get to the root. You can talk about their sheriff's office, right? But who gave them a charter, or how did they come to possess a charter? Are we talking about appointed or elected officials, right? You know, we look and we see within their seal a particular year, a particular date in which they were established and founded. And this comes after what they labeled as Seminole Wars, right? The War of the Yamasee. After the Spanish land grants. After Andrew Jackson, the murderer. King Mob, they had a bunch of nicknames for him back in the day. So, with that being said, for me, I've always expressed the fact that the state of Florida is the most racist place I've ever been to in my entire life. What I was exposed to in my early teens, I wouldn't want any melanated child to experience ever. And I'm not just talking about in one particular town or just in the county of Charlotte or the county of Lee. You understand? Because these were the places we were all the time. I just never experienced police officers doing a traffic stop with a car full of young teenagers, just let dogs out on them and, just crazy shit. If you're giving me a ticket for whatever violation you claim that I violated, and let me move on. You're talking about a car with teenagers who don't smoke, don't drink, minus me. But if I'm hanging out, with my square friends, right, then that's something that I'm not indulging in because they don't. Asking you shit like, say your ABCs backwards. That's some 80s Florida type shit. Late 80s, early 90s. Say your ABCs backwards. Being violated by some people who shouldn't even be there, first and foremost. But with the fact that they still have a city known as Jacksonville, right? Not saying that the territory shouldn't exist, but that name should not exist on anything, not even a piece of $20 fiat currency bullshit that his name is on the front of. Shouldn't exist. So I ain't gonna keep y'all. I wanted to get that out the way, I have to counter again what they're talking about in the mainstream right now. I have to counter that with the facts. And I'll say it one more time. We have no proof right now proving that the young mayor, and I said I was gonna go to it. I did, my bad, y'all. Yeah, we gotta be in here somewhere. Plan, Tony, breaking. Yeah, that's it right there. And this not. And I know Willie D gonna get me, but this not the. It's a bunch of videos on here about it. I'm trying to figure out how that one got to be so close to the other videos. Nah, I don't see it. So I'm gonna have to type it in myself. Cause peace to the guy Willie D. I don't want no problems. I don't want no problems out here. We're not even monetized over here. We're just doing what we do. Why is it? This is a house. Let me see. Where we at? Bogalusa Mare. Ugh. Let's get the dirt out the way. Let's get the dirt on out the way. All right.
Right now, the charges the mayor now faces. Rob.
Yeah, Liz, we're coming to you live from the Bogalusa City Hall, where state police just arrived about 15 minutes ago. About a half dozen troopers went into the City Hall annex, and they are executing search warrants around Bogalusa in this wide-ranging scheme. The street here in front of the Bogalusa City Hall is blocked off by Bogalusa police. There are a lot of residents gathered around here, somewhat in shock at these developments, because they believe Mayor Trung is a very popular mayor and someone who they believe has been facing a lot of opposition here in Bogalusa since he was elected as the state's youngest mayor about 2 years ago. But now he is sitting in a Franklinton jail, charged in a scheme involving as many as 11 others. About a half dozen members of the Louisiana State Police came to City Hall just a short while ago, now executing those search warrants. The state police says the violent crime
Now I just talked about how racist Florida is, right? Um, Again, the people who live in this town, they're calling, uh, you know, conspiracy. They're saying that this is not true about this young man, right? And they're also saying that this is based off of racist. Period. Those who are accustomed to being in power and don't want to see him in power. Now that's very believable because we're talking about Louisiana, just like we were just talking about Florida. Certain things that are done in those two states, you don't see in every state. I'll just put it like that. When you look at the prison system in Louisiana, which I don't know a whole lot about because I'm not from down there, but based off what I do know, the corruption is You know, if you don't look at that situation and see that slavery still exists, it's something wrong with you. That's the reality of it. Is something, you know, your elevator not going to the top, or, you know, the Willie Lynch-ism is running rapid through your DNA or something. I don't know what to tell you. Because this shit makes no sense. None. None is none. It's unfathomable. How you say that? Unfathomable. That somebody in a position that this young man is in would take to soliciting prostitutes and selling the cocaine by way of the internet. It don't even sound real. And on the other hand, when we talk about Broward County, not just selling the cocaine, but cooking the cocaine themselves and putting it on the street. Like, not only, you know, they're overturning 2,000 convictions, over 2,000 at this point, and of course there are many more. If we're going all the way back to 1993, where are we at? We going all the way back to 1993, right? Let me find it. So not only should they be overturning convictions and paying out over 2,000 civil suits, but they also should be prosecuting every officer. They should be prosecuting every single sheriff, deputy sheriff, private. They should be being prosecuted for this activity, for these violations committed on the people. Yeah, sometimes I won't deny it be about us keeping the pressure. You know what I'm saying? And making sure that these things aren't forgotten and manifesting. You know, the corrections by way of the work, doing the work, activism, boots on the ground. I ain't talking about for marching purposes either. And that be that, y'all. Y'all definitely hit the like, subscribe, share, comment. I know this super late. People got to get up in the morning and go to work. So the usual suspects, you know what I'm saying? I ain't dropping it and helping me out, but this something short anyway for y'all to check out. Yeah, make sure you check out the Black Tube too. Yeah.
YouTube, you fools try to limit me, muting and deleting channels, thinking that's the end of me. Y'all are not on my level, smaller than a centipede. This is my purpose, TBT is a ministry. I do not tire, my God gives me energy. Chose by Messiah, you believe, come get with me. Married to a black queen, we got the illest chemistry. Founded the Black Tube, and now we making history. Black Tube, 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 what? Black Tube, 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 what? TBT, 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 what? TBT, 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 what? TheBlackTube.com. I'm a giant killer, son of an omniscient God who's realer. If this be the Thriller in Manila, I'm Ali in his prime. It's showtime, go time, about to take what's mine. We are not with your agenda. We showing real life.
Supreme.
Shock. Etymology. Say I'm
I'm dope, I said I'm smoke, fire, blowing air, carbon, earth, solid, water, wet. I'm steady B, a sister soldier that dies effects. So gone with all that hoopla, I'm rah-rah. Unless you talking about Atun, Namuna, Amara, pineal glands, all see your eyes. We call the third eye. We came to build, not pay your bill. Slang them in the municipality, city seals like roadkill, descendants of ancient mound builders. Not supposed to need encyclopedias, genetically encoded with 720. We got amnesia, claiming we Christian cretins in love with Yahweh, Muhammad, and Jesus. But you was living inside of God when you was a fetus. But believers will never believe